All right. We are live. This is another episode of Talking Palettes. I'm your host, Daniel Crosier, and I am joined with the amazing artist, Khoi Pham. How are you, sir?
Good, good. Happy to be here. Hello,
Good.
everybody.
Yeah, everybody that's watching, feel free to comment or ask questions. But I met Khoi probably something like 10 years ago. I think it was a Wizard World, one of those convention events. Uh,
Yeah.
and really impressed, by your art, but also heard a little bit about your backstory. Aren't you also have a background in law?
Yeah. I was a lawyer before jumping over to doing the art stuff full time.
Oh my
So this
gosh.
Ginsberg stuff is very intriguing and sad at the same time.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, very much so.
yeah.
Um,
But yeah, that's the background. Did the law stuff for a while, and then went to conventions. Started doing sketches at conventions, just hanging out, and then just
okay.
thinking, hey, this is because I only ever knew about San Diego, right? As a kid,
Right.
I'd get the comics from the stores, but I didn't know about conventions. It wasn't until like decades later when someone said, "Hey, Wizard Philly." So they
Oh,
were getting
cool.
it. It was a comic store guys. So they set up a table and I joined them. And I thought this is neat. I had no idea. And they were
Yeah.
selling sketches and they were just seeing and just meeting all these people. Say, hey, I know that guy. I know that person. So I got the bug.
Cool.
Then I started posting online and just having fun with it. And there was the 1010 Studios at the time.
Right.
There
Right.
was my a group of friends got together and we just did it kind of as a lark because we weren't really a studio, but we met each other online and we figured let's just as a way to go to these conventions as a group,
Yeah.
instead of just going solo, which was kind of intimidating and overwhelming a little bit. So we did that. But the funny thing is, a lot of people within the group
Mhm.
started working in the industry, which is pretty wild. So guys
Yeah.
like I would list them, but I always leave somebody out, so I'm not going to do that. But well, I'm going to do it. Aaron Cooter, Nick
Right.
Pitara, Chris Burnham, Riley Brown. Yeah,
Nice.
I'm going to leave people out, but a bunch of us in the studio. So we did that for a while, and then yeah, the Marvel said, "Hey, you wanna work for us?" And I said, "Cool." And they said we did that for a bit, and then it was,
Right.
"You want to quit the law stuff and do this full time?" So yeah, so I've been in the business ever since. That was a while ago.
Yeah. It's been a lot. It's probably a lot more fun than law.
The law, I mean, it's the childhood dream and all that. So yeah, it's definitely
Mhm.
more fun than law. The law was great. The law was great. If I could do both, well, at the time, not now as much anymore, but at the time, it
Yeah.
wasn't that clear cut of a choice because I was really enjoyed working with the people I was working with. I was at
Hmm.
the public defender's office, so
Oh,
like going from other kinds of law over to public defender's office.
mhm.
I was surprised at how much I liked it. Like
Interesting.
what they were doing,
Yeah.
what their purpose.
Yeah.
It made the law seem good, right?
Right.
It made it seem like I was doing something positive
Right.
directly, and at the same time, it was I felt like Matt Murdock, right? So
Yeah.
it's, geeky reasons for why I liked it,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
the comic stuff is good, and it's a whole different animal, whole different
Right.
thing. So there's good and bad to
Right.
both.
Right. On the legal side, with you being a public defender, I mean, yeah, that's always looked at as an incredibly stressful job. So, something that's so underappreciated. But yeah, I mean, you're affecting, so much, change for good.
Yeah. So that was good. The good thing was the office was really great. From the head public defender, everybody involved. It was a really great office. I can imagine it could have been horrible if the
Right.
people were different, right? So I
Right.
was just
Right.
lucky to be with those people in particular. And the judges are great. The DAs, assistant DAs, rather,
Yeah.
they were all great to work with. So it was just a good place.
That's good. And then with transitioning over to art, had you always been illustrating, or did that come a little bit later in life?
always illustrate. I've always drawn. Just to help me focus. Even in schools, I constantly drawing on the notebooks and in the textbooks. I would get in trouble drawing on textbooks and on desks and stuff. I just, otherwise it was hard for me to focus. But I was always drawing. So definitely, it's when I don't draw, I'm drawing for fun, right? Like it's just something that I do. I don't know why. It's just find it appealing to get what's in here down and get it out in a quick way. So it's enjoyable that way. But do you draw?
Oh, me?
Is that your art?
Yeah. The logo or the little icon. Yeah. So I think when you and I met,
that's right.
The wood burning.
That's right. Stuff.
Yeah. So my girlfriend just recently bought me a new wood burning set, so apparently I'm going back into that.
Nice.
But I illustrate still on wood, a lot of ink, a lot of really intricate lines. I find I'm OCD, so I need to have lots and lots of texture. And then but I've transitioned from wood burning to laser engraving. So that's been pretty fun. But yeah, what do you find? As an artist, looking at like a comic book script and everything, what tends to be like your process for tackling something like that?
Well, specifically for that kind of job, like these days, I don't quite see myself as just an artist anymore because it's a business, right? Like the dream is, hey, I work for Marvel, I'm an artist for Marvel. No, the reality is you're your own company, right? And Marvel is a client, right? So if you see yourself as an artist, you're without the other things, you're it's kind of it's a tough way to get through it. Right. So on the art side, so when I take a client like Marvel and I see a script from anybody, it is a business, right? So there's the concept of, well, the job then is to the sequential art job is a very specific thing where it's more than being an artist. It's telling the story, right? It's collaborating with the team to tell a story. Right. So when I look at a script, my job is, how do I help these words show up on paper, illustrated in a way that propels a story? And the old saying is should be able to communicate the story without the words, without the script. Right. So when I look at a script, first thing I have to figure out is, does it make sense to me? Right. And then where there's confusion, how do I clarify that for the reader? So the first thing, the most tedious task for me, which actually takes probably about half the process for me, or not half, but a big part is figuring out the panel breakdowns, right? So sometimes the script will say, this happens in 4 panels, but if it takes 5 or 6, I would add in the extra panels to make sure, because sometimes there are too many beats within written panels that I have to break it down. Sometimes it's, but generally that's the massaging and tweaking that I do when I get the script. Otherwise, it's just telling a clear story, dynamic story, and that's just years of practice to get that down. But the goal is to get the story clear, and then what I tell people, I'm doing a little mentoring too, because I'm doing this for a while, and people ask for mentor, and I figured, well, that's what happened when I came in the business. Not unofficially, but you've been to conventions, everyone's very, very gracious and generous and very accessible. Very much. So I kind of want to pay that forward too a little bit, right? But there's so much time. There's only so many hours in the day to run everything I want to do. But what I do tell people is that you're not just telling a story; you're trying to tell an exciting story, right? Some people can draw things or communicate excitement, but then the storytelling is not so clear. Another, to me, in my opinion, this is my opinion, some stories are very clear, but it lacks that oomph where it's like, why is it a comic book? Right? Why be prose? be
Right.
something else, take advantage of the comic book medium. So when I look at script, I also look at where the action shots are, the money shots, and that's where I really enjoy where choreographing the fight scenes in a way that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So for example, it's not in the scripts, but if I know a character is throwing a punch in panel 1, right, the next panel it's going to be with the right hand. Next panel, I'm going to make sure it's a left hand.
Right.
Right. So you can, as a reader, you can kind of like it's like dancing.
Follow that. Yeah, the rhythm.
So sometimes I'll see books where it's like right punch, then right punch. It's like just swung through.
Yeah.
What do you do? Pull back? Well, that's a panel to me, right?
Yeah,
like pulling back to the panel. So either add a panel or go. So I try to make sure it flows like how an actual.
And it makes
so that sort of stuff. It's not. I don't even know if it's conscious to the reader, but those sorts of things, hopefully people can feel those movements.
Yeah. Well, and I'd imagine too, like as a reader too, if you don't pick up on, if it flows and there's like no like visual like little bump in the road or something that's like, oh, why is this way? And you kind of question it, then if they don't cognitively recognize that,
right,
then I think you've done your job.
Exactly. Like if for the sports viewers out there, it's if you don't notice the good officiating, you don't notice them.
Yeah.
Right. So that's kind of good storytelling. You don't really notice the storyteller. You kind of feel it. It's like a bass player in a band, right?
Right.
You don't hear it so much. It's deliberate, but usually it's about you feel the bass.
Right.
You feel the storytelling voice. You feel it, but it doesn't interfere with the actual story, the message.
Right.
So storytelling should be like that.
I think that's a great analogy. Good art should be the bass player. It provides a real rhythm. You feel the beat, but it can be the glue that holds all the parts together.
Well, the storytelling part, the visual storytelling, is the bass, but you also got the lead guitar, right? You got the splash pages, you got facial expressions, the lead singer. I'm really stretching this analogy now, right?
Right. Let's see where this goes.
Exactly. Then you got Bohemian Rhapsody by the end of the day.
Oh, I know. Oh, that's so many changes. I love it.
But that's how it goes, right? So as and I try to tell artists, it's you're doing a lot. Right, as the artist, you're directing, you're acting, you're choreographing, you're doing the cinematography, you're setting, your stage design, you're doing everything. If we're a film,
right,
all of it, except for the script, right? So there's a lot involved. It's an interesting craft to be in, right? I don't think there's any other unless you're an auteur. Right? Even saying that right, I always read. I don't know if I.
It's. I know
that word.
The big word. Yeah.
That word. If you were making your own movies and you were doing everything, then that would be like comic book artist, right?
Right.
When you're a comic book artist, it's like you might as well just learn the craft of writing stories too, right? Because you got everything else going.
Oh yeah, it's and it's not too far of a stretch to to say if you really want to be well versed, do the writing, do all the creative and everything, but also learn a little bit of the business side too.
Yeah, that too, right? Yeah, it's important to do that. It's important to you need to get paid, right? So I read somewhere where it's like you don't make money creating, you make money selling it.
Right.
So and if you take control, the more control you take over the selling part, I think the more stability you create for yourself as an artist.
Right.
You can be all day long, but if you're relying on somebody else to sell it, where's the money?
Right.
So and it's a tough thing for artists to wrap their brains around in this way, and so you gotta also you gotta overcome the sense that this is not art, right? Like you be able to say everyone should visit khoipham.com, right, and check out the store, right? Because it's I'm also running a business, right? And if the
Right.
business shutters, there's no art, right? And there's no shame in selling your stuff, and
Agree. Yeah.
that's the business side. A lot of artists are reluctant to sell. But I
Yeah.
think it's important to get that message out where it's like there's you have to sell,
Mhm.
right? And the reality is that people are turned off by you selling, then they weren't going to buy it anyway, right?
True.
Just
True.
find people that are receptive and want to see you succeed and want to see you do well. So if
Right.
the people want to see you do well, your true fans or your super fans, they don't care if you're selling, right?
Mhm.
They'll want to find ways. It's like, hey, I want to buy. I can't find. How do I buy this stuff, right?
Nice.
So
Yeah.
on the business side, I'm seeing that people have to step up and start selling as
Hmm.
much as creating, right?
Yeah.
Which is why I love this Kickstarter stuff, right? Because
Right.
that's
You're,
great. That's selling it.
yeah. You're already creating your base. You're through the rewards. I mean, you're already doing direct sales.
Yeah,
Uh, you're kind of circumventing that middleman,
yeah,
uh, and you're able to interact more directly with your fan base. I think on
yeah,
something.
exactly. And that's the industry has been changing and it's going through some serious changes. And
Mhm.
speaking of Kickstarter, just I'm having something coming out soon, so probably in October. So people should just check that out on
Is
Facebook.
that's going to be on Kickstarter?
Yeah, I'm still undecided on which platform, but probably Kickstarter, the usual suspects. Yeah,
Yeah.
but but yeah, with the industry changing and everything, it's like, oh no, Marvel and DC and this and that, and then these big clients, right? They're not employers, they're your clients. These clients don't have the resources anymore. What am I going to do? These
Mhm.
clients are now doing what they can, which completely understandable to reduce costs, right? Because
Yeah.
it makes sense. And so with the internet, they're able to tap into a wider talent pool, right? And
Hmm.
again, makes sense as a
Yeah.
business, perfect sense, nothing to be mad about, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, what allows these clients to tap into that talent pool, the internet, right, allows the creators now, the talent,
Hmm.
to tap into that audience,
Mm.
right? So you can sell now, and we're
Yeah.
seeing with the comics distribution stuff, the diamonds, it's like, why is it suffering? Because we all have access to direct marketing and
Yep.
other ways to sell too,
Yeah.
right? It works best when everybody's successful, right? The
Right.
abundance mindset where it's like there's enough for everybody. So if
Yeah.
anybody suffers, that's not good for the rest of us, right? This is not a
Right.
thing where it's like, oh, ooh, yeah, Marvel's out, I'm going to take that spot. No, 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 no. The more success, the more successful the comic books and comic stories are, then
Mhm.
everybody benefits. It's right. It's like, again, like a sports reference when Tiger Woods came on the scene. Oh no, but he
Yeah.
elevated everybody, elevated the sport, and people started.
Right. Yeah. The as the old analogy, the tide raises all ships.
Yes, yes, that's what I was.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to get exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this is we cannot rely on a few players to
Mhm.
save all of us. It's almost not fair to
Right.
them even. Like it's
Right.
rare that anybody puts Marvel DC in the needing saved part. But the reality is, if we all do our part and just create and sell and create and sell and keep making this a viable,
Yeah.
continuing to be a viable form of entertainment, right? Because it is different than everything else. It provides its own thing,
Yeah.
I don't know web comics, all of it, right?
Yep.
But the sequential storytelling is a viable form of entertainment and ought to continue. And the more people keep it going, the Renee tell the
Yeah.
name escapes me, Tellemeier, Teller, whatever, the children's book author everyone knows about. Dov Pilkey, right? I don't care what form, as long as it's sequential storytelling, it
Yeah.
keeps it going. It keeps it going, and I think with today's short attention span, TikTok
Right. Yeah.
culture, I think,
You've got all these
yeah,
competing mediums and stuff.
right, right.
But
It's audiobooks, and I think
yeah.
I think the comic books, the web comics, it's a place. So we all have to keep it going.
Right. You've got platforms like, of course, in America, you've got Comixology. I think that's the big
Yeah.
one that's
Yeah.
now owned by Amazon. But like in South Korea, you've got Webtoons, which is
Right.
huge. It's
Yeah.
so massive.
Yeah, we have 4 kids here, and they're not like it's a guys Comixology is paid for. Nope, they're on Webtoons all day long, right? So
Oh, nice. Yeah.
so you gotta, hey, at least it's comic books, right? At least it's the medium that we're trying to keep going. So
Right. Right. Yeah, I've got like Nikki So out of Texas, and then Zach Howard here in Denver. They're big supporters and proponents of Webtoons, and they're
yeah,
they're like, hey, these guys are innovating, and they're able to connect with wonderful audiences that will absolutely help cater to and support you in
yeah,
your. So that's something that now my girlfriend and I, because now we're kind of gearing our efforts to like kid friendly comics, because
yeah.
all the stuff that I've done before, I wouldn't recommend my nieces and nephews ever picking up.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, I get all of that, but the zig, you got a zag kind of deal, right?
Right,
So
right, right,
everyone's seeing that Pilkey, everyone's seeing the kid stuff, which is fine, which is
right.
cool. But
Yeah,
then there's also Scott Forsman, right? The Netflix picked up his stories, the end of the effing world, and this is not, I'm not okay with this, right? They're
yeah. I remember
forms
that. Okay.
of graphic novels, independent comics now that the people, it's time to look at those too, right?
Yeah.
It's instead of chasing the numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Telgemeier and these guys, a huge number, and that's fine, right? If that's your thing, do the kid stuff, right? But at the same time, there's when's the next, you know, Captain Underpants, or where's that going to come from? It's
Right.
going to be Scott Pilgrim saves the world, the kind of
Right.
thing. So I think there's just so many stories out there for so many audiences
Right.
that are it's waiting to get tapped, right? I mean, there's so much potential, and it's about the selling, it's about the marketing and the selling it. So
Yeah.
where there's a void, ask why not, and then see how you market it better, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like whatever your message is, comics is a valid way to tell it.
Right.
Selling it.
And like to that with figuring out where that void is, it's like where's kind of an opening or a platform that you think might be less explored, and how do you innovate? How do you even like taking the comic book medium, how do you make it even more accessible, or more or to kind of stand out to some of these other art forms that could be seen as a competitor, or something like that. One thing I know friends of mine and I have talked about is like whenever Marvel has a movie or something come out, why not that opening day? Everybody that buys a ticket gets a free comic book that pertains to that film, and thereby hopefully garnering more readers, because there's so many people that go to those movies that don't know the source material.
Yeah, I think there's a big assumption there, and I've heard differing points of view, and I haven't done the research, but the assumption is that the movie audience
Yeah.
and the comic book audience and even the web comic audience, they're all the same. But I suspect that they're all different.
Sure.
Right. So it's like not forcing, but somebody who's going to watch movies may never be open to comic books. Right. Someone who's in reverse, someone who reads comics may never be open to online comics. Right. I mean, that's this, you like what you like. Some people like the tangible pages and the smell, and they dictate the pace. You can do the web comics too, but you can't do that with movies or TV. Right.
Yeah.
Some people like the weekly aspect, the repetition that you get in comics that you don't get in movies, right?
Yeah.
So to kind of like expect and just pour money into getting a movie crowd to read comics, I
Sure.
don't know if it's the same audience, right? Maybe
Okay.
the money should be spent finding the comic readers who don't go to movies.
Hmm.
Right? I mean, it's if it's in the movie, like it's like if I'm going to watch sports, I'm not going to read a book about the game, right? I mean, I'm going to
Right.
watch the game,
Right.
right? So why would I go buy a book about the game?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that. Like I've already seen it. Like I'd rather just wait for the next movie. And there's
Yeah.
just so many movies and TVs where there's not even that much of a wait. So I suspect that might be an incorrect connection,
Okay.
but I don't know. If what I'm trying to do is not go after the movie audience. I'm
Yeah.
going to find the audience where they are. So if I have something for the movie audience, it's going to be a movie,
Yeah.
right? If I have something for the online audience, it's going to be online comics. It's going to be of the free variety, and I'm selling T-shirts, I'm selling toys, I'm selling other
Yeah.
things that audience likes, right? And if it's the comic book, I'm selling consistency every week. I'm selling a prestige format. I'm selling that experience, right? The
Yeah.
store planning experience, the convention experience. I'm selling that, and
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that they're all the same, right?
Right. Right.
I'm sure there's crossover. People like some people, but I I don't know. My suspicion is each has its own audience, and you should just focus on what that audience likes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's probably why there's not a lot of traction getting people from the movie theater to the comic store,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if it's working, the kid probably already likes reading comic books anyway. The kid already likes reading anyway.
True.
Was it the movie or was the fact the kid already liked reading? So I don't know. I feel like the push should be libraries, maybe, right? The push should be other places where
Right.
readers already exist. You're just trying to get them to read other things.
Yeah. Yeah. Libraries are even in this day and age where everything's online. It's still such a viable,
Oh,
platform.
yeah.
Mothers take their kids in there for reading time and stuff.
Yeah.
And you can discover things and you can interact, not right now, but back when you could interact with people
back in the old days.
yeah a few months ago, which was like what, 30 years ago.
Yeah, feels like it.
How are you guys holding up with quarantine and all the COVID stuff?
We're doing good. I mean, the kids are online schooling. I think it's important to try to be positive, and with that positive mindset, positive things happen.
Yeah.
Right? The positiveness. There's a ton of work. There's a ton of you just go with the flow, right? And
Right.
you can only control what you can control.
Right.
So that's what we're focused on here. And the kids are doing great. We're doing great, So
Nice.
and honestly, no need to knock on wood because we expect to do great. So it should
Nice.
be fine. It should continue, right?
Right. Jason just chimed in. He said librarians rock.
Yes, that's right. I'm assuming Jason is a librarian.
Actually, no. He's a buddy of mine. He's quite the humanitarian. He goes and I think builds houses on reservations and helps
awesome.
impoverished communities. So
yeah, I used to work. Like I used to take my artwork to the library.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a great environment. It's the same people every day.
I think it's definitely a little bit more supportive and community oriented. Like you see artists and especially writers go into like Starbucks, or at least you used to, and working on their novel or sitting there, sketching away. I never really understood. I never understood that, but a place like a library where it's a commonwealth of information and sharing, or a bookshop or something like that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, stuff like that I always really appreciate. And then you can congregate and meet new and like-minded people and exchange.
Oh, great. And it's not just books, right? I'm sitting in there with the poetry group would meet. You can hear them. and then the robot team would meet, and you hear like
Oh yeah,
like this financial help and that help, and then tutoring, and it's like you just like
yeah.
it's all in the library. It's pretty wild. It's not just books. It's a pretty awesome place.
Yeah, yeah, now like we'll talk to people over there that operate the community 3D printers or laser engraving, and
Yeah.
it's like they're bringing in accessible modern technology and making it affordable for everybody to participate with.
Yeah, so I want to shout out to the Indian Valley Public Library
Oh,
here in
fantastic.
yeah, yeah, that's my home library. But yeah,
Nice.
it's a great place. Libraries are cool.
Yeah, yeah, very much so. Um, wow, Koi, what do you get to geek out on? What's some of your favorite comic books these days?
Oh man, I've just been so busy that I have a stack of books that I
Oh, okay.
really haven't gotten to. I'm doing shamefully. I'm actually trying to stay away. This is the part that's killing me. I'm staying away from stories
Okay.
so I can create my story.
Oh, okay.
Really into the
I understand that.
like noise pollution and different ideas
Yeah.
and comparing yourself. You know what I mean? It's about like finding your message and not getting it. Like, oh, I wish. And I stopped. I used to do that as with the illustration side. It was killing me. Like, oh, why can't I be like Travis Sherrill? Why can't I draw like Livia? Why can't I draw like this and this? And it's like, you know what? They're all awesome. There's
Yeah.
plenty of room for others too, right? So
Right.
so when I stopped comparing, it made my life a lot better.
Yeah. There's
So
only one Khoi Pham.
right, and there's only one Dan Crozier, right? And everybody, it's like, oh, the song, like stick with some music, right? Like
Mhm.
I don't know if you play an instrument or everything, but like, oh, that song's been done, but it hasn't been done by you,
Oh,
right?
okay. Yeah.
So that's why cover songs are great, right? Because it's like I want to
Yeah.
hear this artist do that song.
Yeah. See
Right.
what?
I don't like it when a cover song is note for note because it's like, no, I
Yeah.
want
Why?
to
Why bother?
yeah, I want to hear you do it, right?
Hmm.
Good or bad, I want to hear you do it.
Right.
So
Yeah. I've heard too much of that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
But
but having said that, it really is hard to avoid some of the streaming
mhm.
shows on TV. So,
Sure.
just
Sure.
finished Pen 15, which is pretty wild.
What's that? Would you?
Pen 15 on
Oh, on Hulu.
yeah, it's totally raunchy out there, which is not a story that I would write. So I don't think it's messing with my brain at all in terms
Yeah.
of
Right.
in that regard. It's so different than what I would do.
It sounds like a nice escapism. I think I caught a few episodes of season one. I think it's on season two now.
Yeah, yeah. Half of season two it had to stop. So they released half of it too because of the COVID, and they're gonna come back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there are a few more, but generally it's just a wind down type stuff. But
Yeah.
otherwise, it's just
Yeah.
getting what's in here out.
Yeah. Yeah. Online currently, I've noticed you completing just a whole bunch of commissions. It seems like every day there's popping up new art that you did for a client, and it's getting to be outstanding.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's fun. Right?
Yeah.
I like drawing superheroes, right? So I
Yeah.
enjoy doing this stuff. I would be doing it anyway, right? If I wasn't getting paid for it, I'd still be doing it, right? So
Mhm.
honestly, um, I would do commissions forever, but it's probably not sustainable, right?
Right.
Like if I don't know, like say like I'm gonna need reading glasses soon, right? But like just like God forbid, something gets in the way of me being able to actually produce, right? So on the business side of me requires. I mean, it's responsible. It would be irresponsible to do otherwise, but the business side of me requires me to create something that allows for more passive income, right?
Right.
Something that sells itself, right? That's still me, but it sells itself. So like the website has I'm working on some online course. Like I have a few stuff to put them on and launch them online classes.
Oh, cool.
There's going to be the story. There's going to be there's like those sorts of things, right?
Mhm.
So as much as I enjoy doing commissions, and it's hard for me to say no,
Yeah.
it does take away from the business building side of things.
Right.
So I always tell myself, slow down on the commissions, and it's like, oh, okay, sure. It's like,
Right.
but that's my problem. That's any problem. But yeah, but I do enjoy them. I do enjoy them,
Nice.
and
Yeah. Yeah. And whatever your spare time is, you're creating your new original story. That you're gonna share with us in October, right?
yeah, yeah.
Can you give us any indication as to what that's going to be about, or is it hush hush?
Um,
It's
not
okay if you can't.
not quite. No, not quite, not quite.
Okay. Okay. No worries. No
There's
worries.
nothing that's going to be tied to it, right? So it's gonna like it all has to go together.
Okay.
So
Nice.
that's the plan, at least. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to see what that is, and when you're able to go live with the Kickstarter and stuff. Let me know so that we can really promote that too.
Yeah. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and I noticed too, with a lot of your commission work, you've been playing around with watercolor quite a bit, right?
Yes, they are. I do enjoy. I'm trying. I'm playing with a lot of stuff. I'm playing with the acrylics, playing with the watercolors. Because
Yeah, I love acrylics too because
yeah,
you can apply it thick and it works like an oil, but it dries
yeah,
quickly, so you can go over it with the next layer and then or water it down and it plays like watercolors.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's important to me to. I don't skill wise. I don't know, but it's important to me to get that story, that message out.
Mm,
So color is a huge part of
yeah.
communicating,
Yeah.
right? So my colorist friends aren't going to color for free, right?
Yeah.
So in order to get my story out, either I pay them or I'm going
Hmm.
to figure out a color, and it makes for a more expressive piece, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to achieve, to make everything be as expressive as possible within the constraints that exist, right? So if instead of extra cross hatching, why not splash some color on, right? There's a fixed amount of time to achieve something, and I've decided, at least recently, where it's like, you know what, I will use that time to add color because that will communicate and make it a more fulfilling experience than more lines, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of where I'm at, and it's fun, and people seem to be liking it, so we'll see.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah. There's no reason to like really narrow yourself down to just one kind of style or approach, right?
Yeah, and at the same time, like I've done some digital coloring too,
Oh, okay.
but the pros on there, they've taken it to such a like incredible level where it's like, man, what the like I
Yeah.
like that's not how I like it's amazing,
Right.
right? That's not like Eddie Van Halen is amazing, but I don't shred that way, right? I play a different way, but
Right.
it's amazing. So to me, the digital colors and stuff, it's awesome.
Hmm.
But I grew up on the more simple color palettes, like
Yeah.
so I miss that. I like that. I enjoy that. What those colors evoke and those art
Mhm.
styles evoke, and those are the stories I want to tell.
Yeah.
Right, I do enjoy listening to a good Eddie Van Halen solo. Right, it's just not
Right.
what something I would want to play. It wouldn't be genuine for me to play that. Just wouldn't be genuine. It'd be like, dude, you're
Yeah.
totally imitating Van
Yeah.
Halen. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. With digital, have you been able to? Because I know a lot of your commissions, obviously, they're on paper. You're doing more textile stuff, but have you been able to illustrate on digitally?
I've done a lot of illustrating digitally.
Okay.
DC just announced the Milestone relaunch. I don't know if
Yeah. Oh,
in
that's right. I
February,
was gonna.
right? Right. So I did most of that work with Greg, and I don't know how much I'm allowed to talk about other than the fact that it's coming out.
Right.
There's
Right.
probably I need 2 preview pages. So I did most of that most of those issues digitally.
Yeah.
We penciled it digitally, and then I think sent them over to Scott Hanna to ink them, and
Oh, cool. He's
yeah,
yeah.
and Chris Sotomayor to color. So I did those digitally, and
Okay.
and the digital, it's fine. It's great because when it comes to something like that, it's business wise, it makes sense just to get it done more quickly, and then
Yeah.
the digital allows for more detail in a faster amount of time.
Yeah.
The downside is not much in terms of the numbers, right? You can't sell original art pages, but I mean, most of the talkie pages, you know what I mean? They're not, you only get so many splash pages and
Right.
covers per assignment. So you're just sitting with a pile of pages that, so making
Right.
those cases, it makes sense to do them digitally.
Okay. Yeah.
Some people, I think Joe Q was saying he would do a bunch digitally, and for the splashes he would do more traditional, so he would have that art. But like in my brain, once I'm working, like I can't stop to do something else. Right? Like the assignment is doing this, so that's where my brain's at, and I just got to go all the way through it. So
Right.
so that book, I think I may have done the first issue traditionally, but afterwards, no original art. It's just all digital.
Wow, that's
No,
fantastic. Yeah, I was really excited to hear that Milestone was coming back. I think a few weeks before DC Fandom, I interviewed Eric Battle, which did a short run on hardware back in the original days, and I think he did a couple issues of Stat or Cobalt Blue. But yeah, I was really excited to hear that was coming back.
Yeah, that was fun. So it's Greg Pak and with the other creators I mentioned. Now we're introducing a new character called Duo.
Okay.
But I think from the solicits, I think for February, they're still being solicited as Zombie still as the original Milestone name. So I'm not quite sure what it is, but I think it's going to be called Zombie. But I don't know. But it is either Zombie or Duo. I'm not sure. We'll see when it gets closer to launch.
Well, that'll be exciting. See, you're busy. You have all kinds of wonderful projects coming out, and I think that's one thing too. Like with with the era of COVID and everything, where people have to stay home, you've got TV productions and film productions that really can't. They're having a hard time getting going.
Yeah.
But after the initial quarantine, comic books are coming back to the stores, and of course it's easier to upload them online to like Comixology and stuff. So you guys are just continually cranking out and taking advantage of the time.
Yeah, you got to. I mean, as freelance artists, is one thing that we've all learned is it's a hustle, right? That it is the who constantly. And this is where I think it's important to eventually create your own IP and get that business going, because as exciting as it is, it is project to project to project to project, and it's like it can be stressful. So you get used to the stress, you get used to the hustle. This pandemic is just one more thing. Right, it's more of the same. It's just you just keep hustling, you just keep running, you keep cranking out the work.
Yeah.
But in that regard, it does allow you to sort of distance yourself a little bit from how things have always been. Right, and it allows you to say, hey, you know what? I want to try this. I want to try that. I'm gonna, why not do this? Why not do that? And then I think in that regard, it's probably helped a lot of artists figure out that there's way more ways to make money doing this than how it was pre-pandemic.
Oh yeah. With the internet as a tool, I mean, sky's the limit. You can pretty much reinvent whatever the model is.
Yep, exactly. It's a redistribution going on right now, and I want everybody to succeed, right? I want everybody to do well. So that's the wish.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Man, that's so cool. Yeah. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing your work with Milestone and your own IP when that starts rolling out. Um, Khoi, in the meantime, where can people find you and and follow you? I know you got your website. You mentioned
Yeah,
that.
go there first because I mean it's tedious and I don't have it automated, but I do post mainly on three sites. So it is the it's khoipham.com, and
Okay.
you'll get a little bit more there
Yeah.
because it's my page, and I know if you're coming there, you want to see. Whereas other platforms, I don't want to spam you too bad, right?
Right.
That thing. But there's also Facebook, and you can find me on Instagram.
Hmm.
Twitter is like a 12-lane freeway, and it's like I'm on there, but I just feel like
It's a lot of noise.
it's a lot of noise, and it's just like
Yeah.
I'm on there for fun. It's just for me to see what's going on, but I don't put a whole lot up on there. So in terms of it's my website, Facebook, and Instagram. You'll get the
Nice.
most content.
Nice. Uh, and with the shutdown too, what's what shows do you miss the most?
Convention wise,
Yeah, events.
event.
Yeah.
Oh, right, like just getting out of the house type things, or like well, we were really getting into the local theater,
Oh,
right? And
cool.
so there was not just we're outside of Philadelphia, so we were going to the bigger productions down in Philadelphia, but there
Okay.
was also a local theater here in Montgomery County, PA, and
Hmm.
we went to one show, like a local production. Like I know the light guy, the sound guy, and it's like this is great. We're gonna buy a membership, and then bam, it's like
Oh,
we're just gonna we're committed to doing this. So that one jumps out.
yeah.
I'm not much of a moviegoer anymore, like theater. Like it's mostly the big events I'll do,
Yeah.
but conventions, right? I mean,
Yeah.
conventions are. I think they're going to be huge
Mhm.
when this is over and conventions come back. I think they'll be packed. I think it'll be amazing again. But that's just getting out and just seeing you and other people at the conventions. It's just
Yeah.
nice to just see other people and talk
Yeah. Most definitely.
and be inspired. Be inspired. It's a great way
Right.
to be inspired.
That camaraderie and everything. And
Yeah, yeah. Little tips and just be like, oh wow, we just
yeah. Yeah.
every convention I'm always like fired up to work. So that's
Nice. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. That is also pretty good too. Like with what you were saying about yeah, having everybody to succeed. That interaction really does compel and support you to get back at the job and
yeah,
keep
yeah,
keep producing.
yeah, and it is part of the experience of what you're selling as comic books, right?
Yeah.
It's just the approachableness, the accessibility of the
Right.
creators, that's what makes it so unique.
Right.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I am doing an appearance. I think Halloween weekend at the Comics Vault in Altoona, PA.
Oh, cool.
The last Ronin variant cover for
Oh,
them. So we're doing a signing. It's gonna you know
nice.
just meet people and kind of get that vibe, right? And also
Yeah.
Halloween, so that'll be pretty wild.
Yeah, that'll be really sweet. Wow, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
You, yeah, just be safe out there.
Yes, yes. So definitely social distancing and the masks, and
Yeah,
everyone will be wearing masks,
yeah,
right? So,
yeah. What a great that is one thing I have enjoyed about this. It's been a great excuse to wear masks, and it's like, hey, as a kid, you always wanted to be the superhero
yeah,
or something.
exactly.
Here's a great opportunity. I was working
Yeah,
with a roofer the other day, and he's just like, yeah, I've got my Black Panther mask.
yeah,
It's the
exactly.
bottom half, but it's like, how cool is that?
Yeah, yeah. Snake eyes, right? Right, right,
Oh
right.
yeah, yeah. Of course, it does get a little creepy when Fred doesn't communicate at all. It's like, hey, Snake Eyes.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
Oh man,
Just texting. Snake eyes can text.
yeah. Just text. Are you okay? You haven't
Exactly.
said anything for like 3 hours. It's kind of creepy. You haven't eaten either. That's weird. Yeah, getting too far into that, Billy. Oh, cool. Well, Khoi, thanks so much for coming on and being so generous with your time. It's been a real pleasure to be able to catch up with you.
Yeah, it's been fun. We'll have to do this again.
Yeah, most definitely. Go ahead, stick around for a minute after we end the broadcast. But thanks again. And so the website's khoipham.com. Is that right?
Yep, that's it.
Excellent. Everybody out there, go to his website and get commissions. He's still doing them.
Yeah, and buy stuff. There's books. I finally got around to loading all my comics that I've created that have just been sitting in the storage. So it's like, you know what? It's not doing me any good sitting here. So
right. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Well, thanks again, sir, and to everybody out there in the internet world. Be good, be kind, and thanks for tuning in. Have a good night.